Hello, Mr. Lilac. Welcome to another Litcast about the book Mouse and Part-Time Indian. Um, our theme, we have several things to talk about today. One of our themes that we were discussing prior to this is how the books are, in our opinion, very different from each other. So, how do you guys think the books are different from each other?
I think it's like one of them is really negative, and one of them is like it's not necessarily like negative. It's more of like sad. Like
I agree.
yeah. Part-time Indian is more like has a negative tone because like he can't really get out of it, but like Mouse is more just like a sad tone to it.
Yeah, and Mouse, like, they really talked about, like, how sad it was, especially in The Prisoner in the Hell Planet, when, it was, like, art, and, like, how everything happened when, the mother died and everything.
Yes, I agree. I think that definitely Prisoner on the Hell Planet really topped it off from Mouse and made it a very sad book, and
It made it dark.
it made it kind of
really
dark. And I feel like Part-Time Indian, especially because of how the author wrote the book, kind of directed more towards young adults, with that kind of humor. I feel like it doesn't really make it as dark as obviously you feel sympathy for Junior, but it's not really as it's it's funny too because of the humor, so it doesn't really make it as sad of a book. But yeah, obviously you still have sympathy for
and Mouse,
or empathy.
It's really dark. I think I talked about that in my CAP essay about how dark the tone was, especially in The Prisoner on the Hell Planet. And
it was very dark.
So for Mouse, what do you think the most important theme was?
Honestly, I think one of the most important themes of Mouse is kind of I don't know how to describe it, but kind of carrying keeping the ones you love close to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of guilt.
And guilt and that stuff like that. And obviously it's Mouse is about World War II, right? Yes. And yeah. So I think that it shows. I think that you can kind of get more insight. It gives you a new a new perspective on World War II than what we learned in school, in history class.
Yeah, because it came from Art's dad's point of his stories from his experience during it.
In the book, we talked about in class, why do you think he chose to include Prisoner on the Hell Planet in the book? Because his dad didn't want him to, and when he found out, he was upset about it. But why do you think he included it in it?
I don't know. I think it just honestly, my opinion, I thought Prisoner on the Hell Planet was the best part of the book.
Yeah, I think it was the most exciting, but most interesting.
Yeah, and most interesting. It kind of draws the most attention to the reader because you kind of get not it's more secondhand because it's Artie's point of view on Vladic's loss of his wife. Well, it's also his mother, but it's more just seeing how Vladic kind of react to it, and it just gives you a perspective on how sad World War II was, and how just everything that went on during it is really sad, and just kind of gives you a perspective, a good perspective on it.
It also shows the emotion that people have toward other people, because I feel Artie felt he was responsible for the way his dad turned out after that happened.
Yeah,
because even in Prisoner Hell Planet, it kind of shows that he felt he was responsible because his dad was kind of blaming him for his mom doing that.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Prisoner on the Hell Planet definitely was a good part of the book.
Yes, I agree.
I agree. Yeah. But yeah, it kind of just makes you just think about how sad, really sad it is, losing someone you love, especially during a sad time.
It's sad and dark.
Yeah. It just kind of ties together the theme of the book of the sad and darkness of World War II. So yeah. What do you guys think about the themes of the part of Part-Time Indian? What do you guys kind of what have you guys picked out the themes of that to
Only
be.
friendship.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
I
say.
feel like because he was born like looking a lot different,
Mhm.
so like he really doesn't have that many people with him.
Yeah.
So I feel like friendship is definitely with his best friend is something important to him. But then when he tells him he's gonna leave the reservation and go to school elsewhere, he gets like really upset at him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he like struggles to find acceptance, especially
Yeah.
in the like the reservations.
Reservation,
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Like Rowdy like had the right to be like upset with Junior, or do you think like Rowdy should have been more happy for him that
Like-
he's leaving?
He should have been more happy, just like for him to experience another thing.
Yeah.
I understand though why he was upset.
Yeah.
'Cause, like I feel like that was his
Mhm.
best friend too, and like if like my best friend told me they were leaving the school and going elsewhere, or thinking about leaving the school and going elsewhere, then I would be really mad.
Yeah, I agree.
Because-
Sorry, guys.
Like I think that especially like I think that like the theme of like just like kind of like leaving your best friend. It's not like he's really like leaving his best like
Like, he's still
moving
coming
schools.
home.
Yeah, obviously. But like he's like kind of like leaving him like. I mean, he's not necessarily leaving him, but I do think Rowdy should have been more happy for him, like, because like he should have been more supportive, because like he's like getting a better education, because
Experiencing new things.
yeah, because Junior's a very smart kid, and he like doesn't necessarily like he doesn't really like he needs a better education because he doesn't want to have like wasted potential like his like his family and everyone else on the reservation, so yeah.
Well, that and I think Rowdy was also upset because they play basketball together.
Oh
and
yeah,
they,
that's
carried
true.
their team
Yeah.
according to him, and then like if he's leaving and playing, I think wasn't it their rival school? Like I feel like that
Yeah.
also for guys is kind of a big.
Oh yeah, for
thing.
guys it's definitely a big deal.
So,
They
like-
care a lot about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is. I don't think it was like more of like why, like where he was going, like why he's switching schools. Is more of like where he was going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I
Especially because
Really
it's
liked that
considered like
school.
the rich kids' school and like stuff
Exactly.
like that.
And he had to walk to school. He said he had to walk like
Yeah.
for like 2
Yeah.
hours, and like if his
Remember?
parents wouldn't drive him, so it was like he really didn't have
Yeah.
the same rights as the white kids had because he
Yeah.
didn't have the same resources to get to school.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, it's like, especially for like his parents, it's like already hard enough like paying tuition for that school.
Exactly.
But like having to drive like an hour there and an hour back when you have like your own like careers and stuff too, like it's a lot for.
Well, they didn't really have careers.
Oh yeah,
They
that's
just
true.
kinda,
They
like,
just kind of hung out.
but like they can't drive him if they're like totally drunk.
Yeah.
Because like he said that they both had problems with that. So
Yeah. How do you guys like kind of like think how that all worked out? Like, do you just like how do you think like the book kind of like would have been different like if he didn't like if his parents weren't like drunks?
I don't think they would still live on the reservation.
Well, yeah,
No, I
obviously.
feel like it'd be different.
I think his sister probably, since they said his sister was also very smart and she like loved to write,
Mhm.
and I think that she would have definitely had a better life too. I also think it would have been better if his sister, like when she was in school, like she also moved schools, so like she'd have better potential and she probably wouldn't have like ran away, and like
I think she had wasted potential, and I think that he
Yeah.
saw that, and like as soon as he saw that, he like didn't want himself to turn out
Yeah.
like his sister.
exactly he didn't want to be like a runaway. But I think
Yeah.
I think it's very important that Junior like kind of found like kind of like realized that he had more potential than I don't know, just like everyone else on the reservation.
So like we talked about like why Junior's friend like would consider like to be a traitor, but like how do you think like other people on the reservation felt as like Junior left?
I don't know. I feel like they probably were against it too, because like obviously like they should be happy for him, but they're not, because they're like he's becoming like one with like the white people, and like he's becoming one of them.
Yeah, I feel like he struggles to find his identity
Yeah.
throughout the book.
Yeah, he definitely does. So
Key theme.
that's definitely a key theme too, finding your identity.
Well,
It's
that
very
it
important.
seems like everyone on the reservation knows everything about each other, and like everyone knows everyone, so that probably was not a good like news for people
Yeah.
to hear that he was just leaving.
Yeah, everyone was definitely like really like kind of like angry about it. Like, why is he leaving? Like he's like gonna leave. he's gonna become one of them. He's not one of them. And it's just like, yeah. All right. Do you guys have anything else?
Going back to Mouse, about Mala and Vladik, why do you think he remarried someone that he didn't like?
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Just kind of like, I don't know, maybe just like the concept of like being married is like, I don't know. He likes the concept of being married, but like,
because he seemed like he really liked his late wife, and then when she like, I don't know why he would get remarried to someone if he didn't like them.
Yeah, maybe it's because like he really like missed his late wife and he just like wanted to be married again, so he's kind of like, so it kind of seems like everything's like back to normal even though it's not.
He seems unhappy with her.
Yeah.
He doesn't like really like.
He likes the idea of it, but it doesn't really work out for him. And yeah, I think that was not really the best move on his behalf, marrying someone that he doesn't love. And how do you guys think like Artie like kind of like dealt with all of this throughout Mouse?
I don't think he liked that they got remarried, but I think he likes Mala.
Yeah, he does.
Because he seems to like her, but like I feel like they're on the same page about his dad.
Yeah, they definitely.
Because he's not. How do you think like he's gonna like look at his dad now because he threw away the diaries from his mom?
I think he kind of looks at his dad as like a villain almost. Like,
yeah, like why would you do that?
Yeah, like why would you do that? That's like what we had left of her. Like, his dad obviously did it because like I don't know, he wanted to like forget it.
Yeah, but if he liked her, like loved her so much, like why would he want to get rid of the only thing he has left of her?
I don't know.
That's
honestly, like it doesn't make sense to me either. Honestly, it's just kind of like one of like the parts of like dealing with anger with like someone's death, and it's like you're like
everyone deals differently.
Yeah, everyone deals differently. He's just like angry about it, so he did that, but he's gonna regret it.
I feel like Mal is definitely on the same side with Artie for that one. Like I feel like she definitely did not want those to get thrown out because I know like she obviously didn't know her, but like I don't think she would want him to get rid of the only thing he had left of her.
Exactly, I agree.
So like going back to like part-time Indian, so like what do you think Junior's like drawings tell us about his writing that like his writing like does not, you know?
I think they kind of like give us more perspective in the story about like how Junior like is, and like it just kind of like gives more like detail about like his thoughts, because like he's a big artist and like his like artists like show emotion through like their drawings, and like I think it's just like I think it like adds more detail to the story, and you can just like kind of get more perspective on everything about like him, his family, and his friends.
That, and you know when he cares about someone, because like in the one drawing when you could see that he drew Rowdy with like super in detail, and then he got mad at him so he drew something over it, but like that drawing was so much like more detailed, and like you could tell he put so much more like effort and like love into that drawing than you could tell he did to like his just like little doodles throughout the book.
Exactly. Like,
so I think it tells more about like his personality and like what he genuinely cares about, because he spent a lot of time on that drawing and he didn't spend a lot of time on just like a random doodle of himself.
Yeah. And like also the one like the drawing like of his parents and like how like they could have been like you can tell that he like really cares about his parents. But obviously his parents didn't turn out the way that like they could have turned out as.
Because like when you're reading the book, like you can tell he cares about them, but like you can't really tell like what he cares about the most and like what he doesn't, and like when you see what he draws so carefully and what he doesn't, that kind of gives a different perspective into like reading into his feelings.
Yeah
they show different part of than just like reading.
You can see how he like cares about other things more than others, see like what his priorities are, and I think that was probably that gave a lot of insight in the book. I think that was a really good part that he added. So, Mr. Lilac, that brings us to the end of his lit cast. Do we have any final thoughts of?
Yeah, I have one more. Like, why do you think rules are so important to Junior? like rules
Like-
that he's following. Like I feel like he seems like a very big rule follower.
Yeah, he is a big rule follower, and we see that theme a lot throughout the book.
Yeah.
He probably is just like he doesn't want to get in trouble because he's so like he's like weaker than the other people, and he doesn't want to get beat up, and like that's just like he doesn't really like want anything bad to happen.
Like it seems like he's a very like school like hard kid. So
Yeah,
I feel like he's like that just adds a lot more tension to his friendships and like relationships with other people because he seems like he always wants to do the right thing.
Yeah, which is a good thing, but obviously, like with the crowd that he's like around, it's like kind of seen as like weak and like
Yeah.
can get beat up for it. Yeah,
That's it.
that is it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.